My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is July 26, 2024. It is 1:15 a.m. I had to start early. Yesterday, I started really late and I have a hard time editing. I cannot work during the day. During the day, too many distractions. So this is the numbers in the background. This is analytics for record purposes. There they are, because I have a lot to share with you. I don't know how many videos I'm gonna have. There is a lot. Okay, and I may not even record all of them. So let's grab the first one, Project 25. I know I said I was not gonna talk about politics, but there's too much going on for me not to share, and this is what some of the squad are talking about, and this is what's coming on my timeline, and I need to stack up some videos for you guys before I go on vacation. All right, so this is Twitter. I saw this, it's not on my list, but I didn't want to add any more things on my list, and I just wanted to go over it really quickly. All right, they have finally learned two important lessons, or rather I hope they have. One, black women is not a threat to white women or their success, nor do we want their demise. We just want a fair chance. Two, the MAGA threat is not just to black and brown people, it includes white women too. All right, so she retweeted that, and I thought that was very interesting the way she responded to it. I have covered national politics for 15 plus years, including close to 2 embedded covered Clinton campaigns. Oh my God, I didn't know it was a thread. I really didn't know it was a thread. I just turned on my computer and I saw it, and I left it on my screen for me to just go over it, but it's a thread. Let's start all over. I have covered national politics for 15 plus years, including close to 2 embedded covered Clinton's campaign, and I have never been at or listened to an organizing event quite like Answer the Call, a grassroots effort that has attracted 130,000 plus white women on Thursday night. Glennon Doyle, Pink Shannon Watts, lots of real talk about how white women have failed black women. Direct appeals to stop hiding behind white privilege. Get out into the street. Postcards aren't enough. They believe they are in a battle to save the world and will act accordingly. Their framing is explicit. White women have been complicit in women losing essential rights. Time and time again, too many of us vote against our own best interests and against the interests of black women because we think white supremacy is in our own best interest, Watts says. You know, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking there's this Twitter account that I watch, and I have the clip that I'm making reference to in terms of I think he started white women, why you're voting against your best interest, and he understand why white men are voting for, you know, white men because it is in their best interest, this kind of thing. Here's the clip that I'm making reference to.
Dear white women, what the fuck is your purpose, huh? What the fuck is your purpose, huh? What the fuck is your purpose? Other than ruining the motherfucking casserole, what the fuck is your purpose other than voting against your better interests? What the fuck is your purpose other than running the motherfucking Kohl's with expired Kohl's cash, knowing damn well that shit been expired since 2010? Talk about I want to speak to your manager. I want to buy something for my Timothy. It should still be good. It seems like every year white women just keep getting worse. Aren't they getting worse? If you look at the electorate, white women continue to vote for Republicans. Every year it keeps going up. It keeps going up. So my question is, why the f do we trust a lily white? White women can't be trusted. Well, no, Kenny, don't be so mean to them. You know, white suburban women are going to get it together. No, you're not. If you ain't got it together then, you ain't going to get it together now. Y'all didn't even vote for your own white sister Hillary. Why the f should we trust white women? And the thing that's really pissing me off is we continue to coddle these white women while we keep shitting on black women. We keep shitting on black voters. But we always put all this stock into white women that are never going to fucking show up for us. That's continue to vote against their own better interests. Because why the And this is the other shit that it pisses me off. Well, shouldn't we blame white men just as much as we blame white women? Maybe. But here's the bullshit that I have a problem with that is, I understand why white men are voting. Because white men are voting for their own better interest, which is keeping power, patriarchy. It makes sense. But why the do a white woman think that she even has a motherfucking say? If she's constantly voting for a white man who's telling her that you don't have agency over your own body. And the reason why y'all don't want to teach critical race theory is not about what's going on in the past, it's what's going on in the present. The thing that's confusing me is how the can you hide what's in plain sight? We see your lily white racist ass through the window. Hi, I'm Carolyn, and I want you blackies to know that niggers in this neighborhood have curfew. Okay, so when the street lights come on, make sure you're in your home, because if you're hanging, you will be swinging. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck. The real reason why these white people don't want their kids to learn about critical race theory is because they don't want their kids to grow up knowing that their parents are monsters. Every day, you guys wake up early in the and look yourself in the mirror and you know you ain't shit. You know you're a racist piece of shit. And you don't want your kids to know that you're a monster.
Okay? Time and time again, too many of us vote against our own best interests, and again, the interests of black women, because we think white supremacy is in our best interest. Watts said, up to $1.5 million donation links are breaking. The call is only about halfway through. Next up is actor Connie Britton, who has been very active in Democrat politics for a while now. She makes jokes about, quote, Karens for Kamala, and says white women have the privilege and need to use it. Closing out the call, Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird. Why do they sound familiar? Are they soccer players? Okay, but let's continue. Sue Bird, we need to focus on winning. There is no other option but to see this through. For us, for white women, this is step one. Say, she learned in WNBA, there were times to step to the front and lead. There were times to step to the back and follow. Says to do both. Okay, Rapinoe closed with, let's effing go. All right. I feel so sorry. Okay, so this is some of the responded. I feel so sorry for you and the people who have spent time with you. Okay, back at you. Have a blessed evening. Hey, what do you expect? You have to understand white men, because this is for their interests. If women think these people, the white men, like Trump kind of people, are gonna be for them, you know, they just want them to be in the kitchen. I mean, it's up to you if you want to be in the kitchen. There's nothing wrong being in the kitchen. But is this what you want? They do not want to give you a choice. They want to tell you this is where you belong. Okay, women vote and a few men. There's that. Okay, after what's on the screen, this is an ad. That's it. I'm on the call raising $20,000 a minute. Women are energized and will win this. We were denied in 2016. We will not be denied this time. It brought me tears. Okay, so there's more comment. This was not on my list, but it popped up. I thought I'd share it with you. Let me add it on the list now. Let me pause. Okay, let me make sure I'm recording. All right, so let's go to the tweet that I had put on my list. It has to do with Project 25. Again, I have to apologize because I did say I was not going to talk about politics, but everything is about politics. Okay, so there's going to be a screenshot. It's a video that I came across that's from, for a minute I thought it was from the Lincoln Project, but it's not. But this is very interesting, but there will be a screenshot. The main thing is just listen. The story of Project 2025, Part 1. Okay, it's 1 minute and 33 seconds.
The story of Project 2025, Part 1. A very brief history of the Heritage Foundation. To understand Project 2025, you have to understand the Heritage Foundation, created during the Nixon administration by Joseph Coors, a far-right extremist whose paranoia once made him force his employees to take lie detector tests. We'll have more on Coors in a later video, but suffice it to say he's a real piece of work. Branding itself a think tank, the Heritage Foundation took its considerable money and influence to Washington, D.C. to champion explicitly racist, anti-science, anti-worker, anti-woman philosophies. They provided funds and legal support to a preacher who bombed schools he deemed too multicultural. They lobbied for decades to keep gay marriage illegal and provided money to the ADF, a designated hate group. And they blamed the families for the shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Their actions and agenda are so clearly evil, it's hard to make a caricature of them. The current president of the extremist Heritage Foundation has explicitly...
Wait a second. Isn't the Heritage Foundation is the same group that was asking information about Prince Harry or something like that? I mean, you have an idea who sort of created these things. I mean, even though they said where it pretty much the idea came from. But let's continue.
Stated that religious devotion and spirituality are the only ways to live, and that the goal of government is to conform to his specific religious beliefs. This was their guide as they sat down to write Project 2025, their Bible for the future of America.
Okay, so let's read some of the comment. Free your mind and your ass will follow. That's the name of the Twitter. Okay, good. That's frightening. That's an ad. Okay, so there's this here. A few correction. If you're going to give the history of the Heritage Foundation, give the whole story. Is that part 2? Oh, there's part 2. Okay, let me read this 2 and then go to part 2. I didn't know they had part 2. A few correction. If you're going to give... like it. If you're going to give the history of the Heritage Foundation, give the whole story on how this actually started. It started in 1958 with the Koch brothers and a group called the John Birch Society. Every Republican president, senator, House of Representatives. Okay, is there one coming? Okay, it continues. And every local and state Republicans were a member of the society. Yes, Nixon was a member and the Heritage Foundation, and Reagan kicked them out of the party. Actually, then start until Obama was in office and the emergence of the Tea Party. The John Birch Society was back and renamed. The Tea Party stood for everything the John Birch Society stood for. When Biden was elected, they thought they could pull the same games like they did with Obama and Hillary, and that fell flat on its face. So now they are trying to pull a Obama-Hillary combo on let's see here. Very interesting. Right, as far as Project 25 goes, that has been in the making for over 60 plus years. So there's all of this. Let me put it big so you guys could pause and read them. Okay, so that was very interesting. Okay. Joe is my president. Okay, so this is part 2 now. It's almost 2 minutes. Again, there will be screenshot. Let me go into it. All right, Project 25, part 2.
25, Part 2. Donald Trump's mandate for extremist religious control of every aspect of your life. In 1981, the Heritage Foundation began their Mandate for Leadership series. These roadmaps are given to politicians as a guide for how to coordinate extreme conservative views across government departments, from the federal to local level. Trump received one of these political Bibles in 2016 and religiously followed it step by step. The foundation staffed his White House, something no think tank has ever done. He instituted a ban on Muslims at their bidding. He created the largest tax cut for billionaires ever, and essentially did whatever they asked. In many ways, while Trump was elected, it was the Heritage Foundation who was president. A majority of Trump White House staff was brought on to craft the newest version of the mandate, known now as Project 2025. And while Trump himself says he's never heard of it, that is a clear, bold-faced, and pathetic lie. Donald Trump, along with other 2024 Republican candidates, received one-on-one briefings on Project 2025, just as the Heritage Foundation has done for countless other elections. On top of that, the majority of authors are former and current members of his campaign and White House, people he's worked closely with for over a decade now. The only possible answer as to why he'd lie about this is sheer panic. Even Donald Trump realizes just how insane and just how radical his administration will be, and he is determined to hide his intentions from American voters. Because if he's elected, our country is about to become a radical, extremist religious theocracy.
This is very interesting. I need to put this by itself somewhere. Let me like it and bookmark it. Okay, so let me leave that alone. Alright, so this is part 2 and this is part 1. Did I like it? Yes, I did. Alright, let's retweet. And let's retweet. Alright, so let's go to my third tweet. That's a video as well. Let's pause. Listen carefully. Alright, so it's a minute and 24 seconds.
This is so unbelievably disgusting and not remotely surprising. Donald Trump has a long history of saying really, really vile and gross things about people. He mocked a disabled reporter. He said, "I like my heroes that don't get caught," referring to John McCain. He called people that died in wars losers and suckers. And he called this veteran that's saying, "God bless America, served 5 tours and lost a leg." He said, "Why do you bring people like that here? No one wants to see that, the wounded." And today, guess what happened? According to Fred Trump, Donald Trump's nephew, Donald Trump stated in regards to disabled people, those people, the shape they're in, all the expenses, maybe those kinds of people should just unalive. Now, Donald Trump did help his nephew with medical bills. However, Fred Trump states, "I felt like this is money that I should have got from my grandfather and I shouldn't have had to call." Trump said in regards to Fred Trump III's son, "I don't know. He doesn't recognize you. Maybe you should just let him die and move down to Florida." That's what Donald Trump said about his nephew's son.
This is crazy.
There's so much stuff coming out against him in this regard. You can't even deny it at this point. It's everybody is saying that Donald Trump, this is the person that he is. And if you're voting for him at this point, God help you with the pearly gates, because you're going to fucking need it.
All right, let's see some of... Oh, there's no comments. Let's move on. Okay, this is another video from CNN. There was a video that was going on, and I think it was a thread. I don't know if it's that one. Yep, I think it's this one. 2. Okay, so that's part 1 and part 2. So let's listen to this. This was a powerful moment today. Thank you, Maya Wiley. Okay, or Wiley. Thank you, Maya Wiley. Let's listen. Ooh, the audio might be horrible.
So here's the thing about breaking barriers. Breaking barriers does not mean you start on one side of the barrier and you end up on the other side. There's breaking involved. And when you break things, you get cut. And you may bleed. And you just break it every time. Every time. And so too, especially the young people here, I say to you, when you walk in those rooms, being the only one that looks like you, the only one with your background, you walk in those rooms, chin up, shoulders back. This is part of what's involved, is that we have to know that sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open, sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that door down. That's the attack on her.
Okay, let's continue. I'm gonna have to really put it loud because it is very low as I'm recording right now.
Look, the attack on all of us. And when she just spoke, and I'm sitting here wanting to grab Eddie's hand. Aaron, if I could grab your hand, if you wanted to set, I grab your hand. We have been cut. When she says that, we have lived that cut. We lived that cut as students at Ivy League schools. We lived that cut when we were lawyers standing in front of a judge that said, "Where's the lawyer?" When you're standing there behind the government table, it's an assistant United States attorney.
Oh my God, this is, I remember reading a tweet. This person, I believe, was a lawyer. How do they call them in the UK? A barrister, a black barrister, where she was in court representing somebody, and then they were kicking her out. And then when she said she's I don't know, there was a door that was being closed for whatever reason it was, and they were, pushing her out, saying, not pushing, but in other words, she should not be in there. And according to whoever was controlling the access. And then when she says she's a barrister and she's waiting for her client and all of that, that's what this just remind me. All right, it's an old tweet I read a long time ago. I don't even remember who wrote it.
You know that cut. I was the only black attorney in the civil division when I was there. The only one out of 50.
Wow.
That, what she said, maps to what you just heard from Aaron in the 19th, has been doing excellent coverage on this. They have been telling us, and I say they because I am talking about a certain group of people, who are victimized by fairness, who are victimized by competition from the competent, and
Wow.
who are upset because they have for so long gotten to be mediocre and rise. So, and those of us who have had to be better than mediocre.
Wow. You know, as she's saying that, I'm thinking the pay raise the royal family just got, and then you have William, who just stepped down as a football association, I don't know, president or something like that. Okay, so this is part 2. Let's continue. Let's move it back.
Have gotten to be mediocre. Wore my Delta Sigma Theta colors. Joy Reid might wear hers later. The Divine Nine, that's 4 million black votes. When you saw that $81 million in 24 hours, that was over 44,000 black women, many of them Divine Nine. The brothers got together the next night. I'm just telling you, when Aaron said galvanize, exactly right, because John's point, as a point about average voters, is true. But see, their foghorn is what's reminding folks that we are not in the America yet that lives up to its ideals. We haven't been, but we made real progress. And when they are showing us who they are, when they calling us colored, Fox News are talking about colored. Sebastian Gorka called her a woman of colored. That's language nobody uses anymore, and it's not a dog whistle. It's saying we're going to go back to when you were in the back of the bus. And we're going to tell you that we're going to put government resources to ensuring that white men get protected. Well, to the extent that there's a grievance,
Wow.
let me tell you what the only grievance is. Anybody who says that this country shouldn't be its better angels and that we shouldn't recognize actual qualification in a woman of color, and that they have come for our vote. Yes, I'm not wearing my shirt because we at the Leadership Conference have a campaign called And Still I Vote, because they've also been doing everything in their power because of the browning of America to make it harder for us to vote intentionally. So instead of trying to get our votes, which is exactly what should be happening here, instead they're trying to make white people afraid of us.
Okay. My college roommate's mom asking me which sports I played. She seriously thought I only got into the same college her son did by being an athlete. P.S. There's nothing wrong with an athlete scholarship. This moment was real, as well as Maya's emotion. We've all been cut. Like my son, he just did some amazing stuff. I'm only not sharing. He wants to play basketball. Okay, his big head is like he wants to be the NBA. But when he was younger, I tried to put him in different sports. He was not into it, so I didn't push him. So now all of a sudden, in the past, I would say 4, maybe 3 years, he's all into basketball. When he tried out for the basketball team in his school, he didn't get selected because I knew he wasn't going to get selected, but he wanted to try, so we said, go ahead. So that summer, when he after he didn't get cut, he was really upset. Is this and that? Oh my God! This kid practiced over the summer. He practiced, and then come September the following year, he joined again. He got in, but ever since his skill level is just going up and up and up and up. So he just did something. I don't even think I want to. It's a good thing, but I don't think I want to share it. So because of sport, he decided to do what he did. So one of the things I keep on telling him, and I'm trying to be as realistic as possible, and at the same time, I'm encouraging him to pursue what he wants, but he must not forget about his education. I said, there's a million of other people around the US and now around the world who wants to get to the NBA. And many of the European players are somewhat much better than American players. Why do I say that? Because most European players play organized sport at a very young age. They teach them the foundation at a very young age. But many American black athletes, now you have to pay to play, pretty much. After school program for young kids at a young age, they don't have these in schools. So you will have to have money for your parents to put you in organized sports, or if there's a public one, it quickly get filled up for the amount of kids they want. So majority of African American kids don't play organized sports, but they go to the park, they do what they have to do, and they make it big. So I told him, you will be competing with people in your states and people around the country, and then when you add around the world, it's even much more. Your chances of getting to the NBA is very slim. So I told him, you may not get a scholarship to go play for a school. It would be nice to have a scholarship. But if, for instance, your academics is very good, you could get a scholarship through academics. And then once your feet is in the school, the main thing is to get in. No matter how you get in, is to get in. If your grade is allowed you to get into those Ivy Leagues, you're gonna have to go in. And then once you are in, you could go to the athletic department and ask to try out. That would be the other way of getting in. So his grade is phenomenal. And I mean, you know what, I'm gonna stop now, because if I have to tell you more, I'll have to explain everything. So he's doing pretty well academically, and I think the reason he's doing academically very well is because of what I've told him, because of the amount of people he's in competition with, okay, to get to the NBA. Will he make it? I don't think so. But am I gonna tell him, no, you don't even try, you're not gonna make it? No. Oops, let's pause. But I have to give him a different option. Okay, there's that. Love Maya. Okay, Maya is awesome, has been awesome, and always will be awesome. So powerful. Maya came through as she always does. Competition from the competent. Okay, so let's go to the next one. I don't know if this is a video. Let's see here. Okay, so there's that here. And this is the man some Catholics are promoting and voting for. Shaking my head. Okay, so that's regarding Trump's family again. Because I was putting the list together as I was going along, so it would have been better if I had put it right after the other one. Okay, so that's a retweet. There's no comment, so let's go straight to it. I truly did not know what to say. He was talking about expenses. We were talking about human lives for Donald. I think it really was about the expenses, even though we were there to talk about efficiencies, smarter investments, and human dignity. So I'm gonna leave the link in the description, but I'm not gonna read it. Okay, my uncle Donald Trump told me disabled Americans like my son should just die. Oh my Lord. Wow. Okay, Fred C. Trump III and his wife Lisa welcomed their son William in 1999 as nephew to former President Donald Trump. Fred Trump advocated for disabled Americans in White House meetings. This looked like a good read, but I have too much to share with you. The link of it will be in the description. Okay, Psycho says what? Alright, in 2020, I took a ton of shit for this thread where I noted, quote, He did this to his own family. What the F do you think he will do to your family? What Trump did to his gravely ill baby nephew is the epitome of cruelty. Okay, so she retweeted herself. That was back in 2020. When people ask, how can real Donald Trump be so cruel? Please refer to them in 2000 article. So there it is here. Okay, he will have no familiarity with human dignity. Just read the entire article. When Fred Trump III called his uncle for help, Trump said to him about his son, quote, "He doesn't even recognize you. Maybe you should just let him die and move to Florida." Jesus tap dancing Christ. Even when it comes to family, he's disgusting. Okay, pro-life personify, and this is the Christian candidate. That's a very good point. Oh my God. What is that? That's an ad. I read this and wasn't shocked. This is who he is. Okay, Project 2025 eliminate IEP for students with disabilities, because why bother spending money on flawed people? Obviously, plastic surgery isn't included. I'm looking at you, Ivanka. Okay, I have a daughter who is disabled and her value is more than all the money in the world. Okay, how anyone thinks Trump is worthy of their vote says more about them. That's another thing. He displayed this during COVID. He didn't know any grief for those who were sick or dying. He worried about the economy and re-election. We all saw it, and 99.5% of us were horrified. Okay, I don't even have words anymore. I mean, he's showing you who he is, but many of you don't want to believe. I think more people's eyes are open now, especially this one where she said back in 2020 when she put about that, people, let's see what some people told her. Okay, I'm not gonna read long thing. Okay, so that's a long thread. Okay, nothing in the link. Okay, I'm only getting a blank page. Okay, so forget that, never mind. Alright, so there's more here. Let's go to the next tweet. I thought I was gonna read responses. Alright, let's pause. Okay, so there's another video. Kamala Harris is fighting for all of us. What are you doing besides fighting against your own self-interest? We are not going back. Kamala stand for America. Okay, this is 1 minute and 26 seconds. Screenshot, okay?
Is on the ballot. When in America there is a father who is holding down 2 jobs and paying more taxes than the richest 400 families in America, economic justice is on the ballot. When in America there is a mother who is in a parking lot of a hospital, afraid to walk through the sliding glass doors to get into the emergency room with her child, because she knows if she walks through those sliding glass doors, she'll be out of pocket a $4,000 deductible. Healthcare justice is on the ballot.
Okay, I'll have to put some music to somewhat draw down the music that comes with this video. One thing that came to mind as she's talking about healthcare reform, that healthcare is on the ballot, is some of the things that I said in my videos warning the UK about the US healthcare system. A minor thing you go, procedure you do at a hospital could bankrupt you. So when the UK is trying to redo whatever NHS is, or reform it to whatever it is, just make sure don't privatize it, because if it privatized, you're screwed. Okay, so I've always give you this warning for the UK squaddies. Okay, so let's continue.
When we are looking at teachers who across America and here in Iowa are holding down 2 and 3 jobs to get through the end of the month, education justice is on the ballot. When all over America there are women who are being attacked for their constitutional right to make decisions about their own bodies, reproductive justice is on the ballot. When children in America, regardless of who their parent voted for president, are afraid to go to school because they are afraid there will be a gunman roaming the hallways of their school, justice for children is on the ballot. So it is time that we fight. And this is a fight that is about all of...
As I was video that I showed you earlier regarding was it Project 25, how it came about and all of that, like I've always said, not even knowing about that TikTok video that I saw earlier, I keep on saying this thing didn't start all of a sudden. They've been at it for a very long time. So it doesn't matter if Trump is not the, let's say for instance, if Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris get into the White House. Let's say she does serve 2 terms. And then after that, you start brand new again. Do you think the GOP cares who's in the White House? They don't care. Their mission continues. Anybody who is the GOP who's in the White House will carry out their work for them. So we need to keep on building on it. Like the Project 25 I was reading, was it in it or did I read it? Where they said they got President Obama. Look at this, how McConnell sort of stopped President Obama from nominating Supreme Court Justice. And look what happened. Okay? They're not for you guys. The little people. Alright? They're looking after their best interests. Okay? So there's no comment. Let's go to the next one. And it's a video as well, I think. Okay, so there's that here. Is that a thread? No, it's maybe it is. I'll go into it. VP Harris continues to put in the work. Let's go into that. Let's pause. There was something that had a long thread. Okay, it's not that one. Clark. She cut childhood poverty in half. He crashed our economy. She lowered the cost of health care for millions of families. He wanted to gut Medicare and appeal the ACA. She prosecuted sex offenders. He is one. Okay, so 47 seconds. Let's listen.
Vice President Harris has been in this fight her entire career. Through every chapter of her public service, she has been the antithesis of Donald Trump. She leads with dignity and compassion. He capitulates to cruelty and greed. She stood up to Big Pharma. He gave them a tax break. She cut childhood poverty in half. He crashed our economy.
And let's not forget as well, many of these things, some of those votes that happened on Capitol Hills, where they needed a tiebreaker. Okay, Kamala Harris have been the tiebreaker for many of policies that have been implemented. Okay, so let's finish.
Lowered the cost of health care for millions of families. He wants to gut Medicare and repeal the ACA. She prosecuted sex offenders. He is one.
Literally, he is, because the thing went to trial. Okay, let's read some of the comment. The choice is clear, my friend. That's true. Putting a pretty old white lady up, really tuning out the voters with that one. Well, first thing that came to mind, a white woman, because white women tend to vote against their best interests. So at least she'll appeal to the suburban moms and things like that. You may not like it, but it is what it is. Okay, she cut childhood poverty in half by throwing half the impoverished kids in jail. I don't know anything about that. She 2,000 of black men in jail, and she is not black. Oh, please. This is where the type of UK tabloid is coming in. If you do something wrong, you need to be punished for anybody. So if you did something wrong, if a black man did something wrong, where do you think he's supposed to be? Bravo, Rep Clark. Women in America are behind Kamala Harris. It is long since I saw this gender energized like this. And this is what I'm saying. She's a white woman, so she's appealing to women who usually vote against their best interests. Okay, she did absolutely nothing. Well, in other videos, I've shared some other things with you. I do not want to go to the long list. Okay, next tweet. When they go low, we call that shit out. Alright, so 1 minute and 1 second. Let's listen.
The historic candidacy of Kamala Harris sparking some very ugly reactions on the right. GOP Congressman Tim Burchett calling her a, quote, DEI candidate, a phrase that's become a fan favorite for Republicans, used against public officials who are people of color, used as a shorthand to impugn someone's credentials, even when their own resume is a lot thinner. Before he went to Congress, Tim Burchett was a mayor and a state lawmaker. Before becoming vice president, Kamala Harris was a senator the Attorney General for California, the District Attorney for San Francisco, and a local prosecutor. Burchett got 141,000 votes in his last election. Kamala Harris got over 81 million votes as part of the Biden-Harris ticket. Sometimes the dog whistle on the right is more like a bullhorn.
Okay, vote killed him. There's that here. In 1999, Burchett received national media attention for sponsoring a bill to legalize the eating of roadkill. What? While animals killed by vehicles, before notifying the county game warden, he defended the proposal as a common sense thing intended to prevent edible meat from being wasted. Eating roadkill was already legal as it is in most places, but required prior notification of the county game warden. Burchett's bill allowed processing and consumption of roadkill before notifying the warden. Burchett proposed the bill after being contacted by a constituent who had been penalized for giving a needy family the meat from a deer his vehicle had accidentally hit. Oh wow, very interesting. There's that. Okay, DEI is how MAGAs openly use the N-word. We're all aware of what they are doing, and it's revolting. Such a wonderful and accepting people, right? Okay, so let's go to the next one. Oh my God, Cat Ppl. I don't know. Is that the thread that has all people start put? Oh shoot, it's not. Oh, I'm missing a number. Okay, yeah. The reason I put this is just because the way Twitter respond to it. Okay, turn on the internet and see what Cat Ppl do. I'm dead. Can confirm. I will play this later, but first let's do the retweet first. Minnesota government Tim Walz, Democrat, let's pause, slammed JD Vance for denigrating voters. My God, they went after Cat Ppl. Good luck with that. Turn on the internet and see what Cat Ppl do when they go after them. Let's see here. Is that a thread? Okay, so I'll come to that to read some of the comment, but let's look at the video. This video here.
What are you doing? Yeah, no, exactly, what are you doing? You can get down. Thanks.
Cat Ppl do. I guess this is her video, the person who did the retweet.
Yeah. Make a leap. I know you want to. What are you guys doing?
Okay, it's playing over. There was a thread, I guess I didn't put it, where people were putting things about their cat. Alright, so let's read some of the comment under that. Turn on the internet, this man is so genuine, lol. Where have you guys been hiding this guy? He is freaking hilarious. This was a great interview, great humor combined with seriousness of the threat of Trump. It's like media from the Capitol on Hunger Games. Cool guy. Petty, he looks so old, and yes, I know he actually isn't, which could endanger the momentum picked the grandpa defenestration. Okay, so let's leave that alone. I have two more for this video, but I have plenty more. The next video will cover mostly things that happen in the UK, Harry's interview, and so this is the this is the thread that I was talking about. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so that should take the rest of the video. I just removed the entire link. Okay, the crowd is so pumped for Kamala Harris in Houston that she's having a hard time beginning her speech. Okay, 38 seconds. Okay, I'm just gonna fast forward it.
Thank you.
Okay, fast forward it.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go to the next one. All right. VP Kamala Harris is in Houston. Last night, our president addressed the nation, and he showed once again what true leaderships look like. The reason I fast forward the other one is 38 seconds of people clapping and screaming. Okay, so there's no reason for me to let it play completely. So let's listen to this, 1 minute and 12 seconds.
So last night, our president addressed the nation, and he showed once again what true leadership looks like. He really did. His words were poignant. You know, I'll speak in a moment about the importance of reminding people of history. teaching America's true history. He thinks and talks about his work and our country, understanding what it means in terms of what we do now and how that will impact the future. He thinks about our history in the context of the importance of the work we do now. And over the past 3.5 years, and over his entire career, Joe has led with grace and strength and bold vision and deep compassion. And as he said, that's right. And as he said, in the next 6 months, he will continue to fight for the American people. And I know we are all deeply, deeply grateful for his continued service to our nation. Thank you.
Alright, so let's see here. Harris to Teachers Union. As you may know, I am a proud product of public education. Okay, 1 minute and 46 seconds.
And I thank you also for your support over the years and for being the first union to endorse me this week.
When I'm editing, I'm gonna cut some of the laugh.
Thank you. And as you may know, I am a proud product of public education. Many of you know that my first grade teacher, Mrs. Frances Wilson, God rest her soul, taught me and educated me and encouraged me and inspired me. And years later, when I walked across the stage to receive my law school diploma, Mrs. Frances Wilson was in the audience. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's who you are. I know who you are. I know who you are. This work is personal, and it is professional, and it is so critically important. And so it is because of Mrs. Wilson and so many teachers like her that I stand before you as Vice President of the United States of America. And that I am running to become President of the United States of America.
There's so many teachers that are quitting now because the unfairness, kids, disciplinary kind of thing that's happening in the classroom, the lack thereof, it's heartbreaking. Okay. Harris on Project 2025, 900 pages and writing. They even want to eliminate the Department of Education. We are not going back. 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
But we are clear-eyed as we work to build a brighter future and to move our nation forward. There are those who are really trying to take us backward. And you, I'm sure, have seen their agenda. Project 2025.
Don't boo, vote.
Randy, can you believe they put that thing in writing? 900 pages in writing. So Project 2025 is a plan to return America to a dark past. Donald Trump and his extreme allies want to take our nation back to failed trickle-down economic policies, back to union busting, back to tax breaks for billionaires. Donald Trump and his allies want to cut Medicare and Social Security, to stop student loan forgiveness for teachers and other public servants. And I say to AFT, they even want to eliminate the Department of Education.
Yeah, they do.
And end Head Start.
Wow.
Which of course would take away preschool from hundreds of thousands of our children. He intends to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations and make working families foot the bill. And he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. Now think about that, to take us back to a time when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions Remember what that was like? Children with asthma, women who survived breast cancer, grandparents.
And then the worst thing is they're not doing things, the GOP are not doing things to have clean air, clean energy, things like that to prevent us from being sick. And then, oh my God, they're not really American. They're anti-American, trying to kill American and our own policies. But let's continue. It's almost done, and then I'll go to the next one.
With diabetes. You know, America has tried these failed economic policies before, but we are not going back. We are not going back.
Okay, so there's this here. Let's pause. Harris, quote, "You may not be a union member, but thank unions for the 5-day work week. Those who've been listening to some of my podcasts since PYTE, I've been talking about this type of things before. When I said everything is connected, there. Okay, for the 8-hour workday, thank unions for sick leave and paid family leave and vacation time, because the fact is unions help build the American middle class." Not too long ago, I was talking about the History Channel where they were I used to watch things about the Vanderbilt, the Chase, and all those prominent people where banks and buildings named after them. One of those videos that I saw was when these big companies were fighting against the workers, literally bring mobs to beat them up so they could work, you know, like they have no lives. Okay, and this was not so many ways to go through that, but they had to organize and put their heads together, make union to fight these power hungry people. Okay, so that's that. Let's pause this. Hey, did I read that? You are not a union. Okay, is that the one that I just read and I didn't play the video? Let's see. If I listen to it already, I'll just stop it and go to the next one.
But you should thank unions, and I'm looking to the cameras in the back of the room. Not them, but the people who might be watching. You may not be a union member, but thank unions for the 5-day work week. For the 8-hour work day.
That's right.
Thank unions for sick leave and paid family leave and vacation time. Because the fact is, unions helped build America's middle class. And when unions are strong, America is strong. So AFT, ours is a fight for the future. And ours is a fight for freedom. In this...
Okay, so let's continue. Harris, quote, "They have the nerve to tell teachers to strap on a gun in the classroom while they refuse to pass common sense gun safety laws, book bans, and this year of our Lord 2024. We want to ban assault weapons and they want to ban books." Can you imagine? Okay, 1 minute and 49 seconds.
And ours is a fight for freedom. In this moment across our nation, we witness a full-on attack on hard-won, hard-fought freedoms. While you teach students about democracy and representative government, extremists attack the sacred freedom to vote. While you try to create safe and welcoming places where our children can learn, extremists attack our freedom to live safe from gun violence. They have the nerve to tell teachers to strap on a gun in the classroom.
They all want us to kill each other. That's all it is. Those policies are not policies of American, but it's very unfortunate that many those politicians, money-hungry politicians, are taking their advice. But now the same people they're running for office to implement these things. It's a whole bunch of circle things.
While they refuse to pass common sense gun safety laws. And while you teach students about our nation's past, these extremists attack the freedom to learn and acknowledge our nation's true and full history.
That's right.
Including book bans. Book bans in this year of our Lord 2024. And on these last two issues, just think about it. So we want to ban assault weapons, and they want to ban books. Can you imagine?
They want to dumb down the population, that's all.
All the while, these extremists also attack the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride.
Okay, there's that. Let's pause. Harris, in this moment, we are in a fight for our most fundamental freedoms. And to this room of leaders, I say, bring it on. Bring it on. Crowd, bring it on. Bring it on. Okay, 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
In this moment, we are in a fight for our most fundamental freedoms. And to this room of leaders, I say, bring it on. Bring it on.
And we need to keep in mind, this is what she wants to pursue. Once she became president, if she become president, she's not the one who's gonna make the law. We have to elect politicians, representatives, senators whose alignment with hers. So when they pass the law, it would be much easier instead of having the GOP who's running nonsense in the House of Representatives, wasting time. So she cannot do it alone. We need to understand that. Look at President Obama. The first half of his first term presidency, he was doing things because the people went to vote and vote for representatives and senators that were in alignment with him. Come midterm election, people then go out and vote. What do you think those MAGA people did? They stopped him at everything else. And then we never recovered, and then we got Trump afterward. So we need to understand, we need to vote in every election and pay attention to who's running. Okay? So this could easily happen to her, but we have experience with President Obama. So we want to make sure we pay attention. Who's running midterm election and who's running now actually in midterm election, and then the second term of her, if she wins again, the second term. And to make sure to have people who will support her agenda. Otherwise, it's going to be a waste of time again. All right, so let's continue. Oops. Okay, I'm going to have to cut a lot of parts here. I guess that's it. It's almost an hour. Oh, there's more.
That's right. Because here's the thing. We believe in our country. We believe in its promise of freedom. And the American people believe in the promise of freedom. So we are in the fight.
That's right.
We who believe in the freedom to vote will pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. We who believe in the freedom to live safe from gun violence will pass an assault weapons ban. We who believe that every American should be free from bigotry and hate will fight to protect our teachers and our students from discrimination and make sure every student can learn America's history.
That's right. This is very important.
And we who believe in reproductive freedom will restore the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own
Roe versus Wade.
and not have her government telling her what to do.
My goodness. Harris ended her speech in Houston on a rousing note. Alright, this one is short, 49 seconds.
When we vote, we make our voices heard. So today I ask you, AFT, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it?
That's
And
right.
when we fight,
We win.
God bless you and God bless the United States of America.
Okay, so let's pause. Okay, so this is the person who tweeted, if you appreciate these threads I put together covering big political events, please support what I do by signing up for my newsletter. So there's his information here. She ready, and yes, we choose freedom, period. That's an ad. Okay, this speaks well for swing districts in Texas. That's right. Was it Represent Crockett is from Texas, of all places, and she's really good. Okay, yes, this is the energy we need. Is it me, or has Camilla's presence and performance skyrocketed as a speaker? All right, so that's that. Let me go to my last one for this video, and then the next video is gonna focus mostly on the UK. Okay, so let's pause. Alright, I shared this woman's optimism of what America can be under a Kamala Harris presidency. Let's effing do this, y'all. Okay, 1 minute and 49 seconds. Let's listen.
I just watched Biden's address to the nation and I realized that I haven't felt any hope for America in years. Like, ever since Trump became a thing, I haven't felt a day of real hope. And this is the first time.
I remember when Trump was in office, it was very scary. You didn't see any optimism. You didn't feel any optimism. If you go back to some of my videos during his time, some of the things that I said during those videos, there was no enthusiasm from him, from me talking about some of the things that were happening. All right, so let's continue. So I understand what she's talking about.
Time in all of those years that I feel like America has a chance to be what they told us it was when we were little. Because they lied to us. And they told us that America was about equity and kindness and equality and possibility. And I know...
Well, African American won, you guys. Okay? It's almost like in the UK. The monarchy give you a promise, an empty promise to hold on. Okay? And then you cherish that empty promise. And you keep on waiting and waiting, hoping and hoping. Nothing ever happened. In the US, they give you all these big words and everything like that. Promise, freedom, all of this. But so many other people were not experiencing it. While they're making certain group comfortable to be able to pen the one who was trying to warn them of what is happening. And then now you realize, hey, you were part of their crosshair of their things that they want to do. They don't even need you in their circle. Okay, I'm talking in terms of white women, where men don't really need them in their circle. They just want to put you back. Okay, so let's continue.
Know that I have a lot of friends that still don't believe that that's even a possibility.
Wow.
And they think that we need some kind of eye for an eye collapse, and that America deserves to be destroyed for its past.
Who are your friends?
But I don't believe that. America, with President Harris, has the possibility to make amends to the world. We have the option to live up to what people wanted to believe we were. We can make...
And some of the things, which I've talked about also, some of the wars, when you look at wars that happen in the US, is mostly the GOP who be, instigating and start wars. when Democrat comes in office, majority of time they try to de-escalate and prevent. Look at during President Obama, you know, certain things can be said about certain things that he did, but he had to make a decision. But when you look at, for instance, where President Biden wants to fund Ukraine to protect itself, to defend itself, what did the GOP do? They insert Israel into the funding of the Ukraine bill. And at one point, they wanted to fund only Israel. Now, this is going to be a battle for Kamala Harris when it comes to Israel. She better think hard, start preparing how she's going to proceed with this. I know every single politician is going to say Israel needs to defend itself. This is the talking point. So don't expect anything else. Maybe Trump might say something because he knows that the people are against it. But when you look at his action when he was president, that will tell you if he's telling you the truth, which never come out of his mouth. So the typical things that will come out of majority of candidates is that Israel needs to protect itself, defend itself, and all of that. But she needs to go further and explain, or maybe certain action that she needs to do without even talking, and just let the internet talk. Okay, meet with some very key players when it comes to the Middle East, and then just don't address people about it. Just let the how do you call this? The internet talk, because Trump doesn't want to do a debate. Okay, you would have assumed during a debate that would have come, but he doesn't want to do it. So meet with some key players, do some photo apps, and then let the people talk. Who can she talk about? Well, Central Kitchen a founder, and she could meet with Amal Clooney. Okay, just talk privately, and then take some photo apps, let the internet talk. That's it. Okay, so let's finish.
This country about equity. We can make this country about kindness, and we can make a living amends for our past. And I don't believe that a man could have ever done that. But I know that a woman can. I know that she can fix this.
And I think Hillary Clinton could have done that, but many of you vote against her, so there's that.
And I don't care if you think that I'm crazy for saying this, because it's true.
Alright, so let's see some of the comment here. Okay. I don't even need to share that one, because the alternative is worse. Whatever you may feel, the alternative is worse. If you don't think she's not gonna support you. Okay, she is spot on. I feel her. I'm with her. Yes, we can. I felt her on all level of my soul. World War III is what you'll get. Glad they're reinstating the draft for women too. Let's go. What the? Okay. These kind of things. Alright, so I'm pretty much done. Okay, so there's some of the comments here. Alright, so please take a moment to subscribe. Oh, this is the thing that I'm putting. I need to finish it, so there's no issues. That's good. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Alright, so this video here that I have regarding the Avengers, YouTube okayed it, but it still has copyright. But the owner of it allow people to use it. But because it has, there it is here, ineligible copyright, by the end of when they're gonna pay me whatever pennies that I made on my videos, I'm gonna remove it, and then afterward I'm gonna re-upload it. Okay, the whole purpose of me sharing this was the motivation, the inspiring that I got out of it, and that's why I shared it. And I even blocked the money, the monetization, even before it went public. Alright, so that's that. So I'm gonna do the second one. The next video is gonna start with this Omid. I need to start stacking up some videos. Why these things are not showing? Okay, let me stop now because I need to find out what's going on with this tweet. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.